Major Mohammad Ali Shah is with us. Thank you, sir. It's a very tragic context in which we're talking. And in the last few weeks, we've been talking about the relentless vilification, in particular, of the Assam Rifles. The army has also issued two public statements. We have seen protesters blocking the roads where army convoys have been moving, not allowing soldiers to pass by, asking soldiers to declare their identity, literally being vilified, legislators asking for the Assam Rifles to be replaced. And now we see an army Jawan abducted from his home, killed, body recovered this morning. His 10-year-old child is the only eyewitness to this horror. Major Ali, obviously a terrible time as a soldier. Your thoughts, sir?
Barka, I firstly appreciate you actually digging out into the details because with you and your team, we had been finding out details for quite some time, and only when you got authentic information from authentic, reliable source, you decided to come on air, not being trigger happy like many. I would not like to name many journalists
Yes.
otherwise. I firstly appreciate that. Secondly, what my observation and my experience from northeast part of India is. Com is actually a Naga tribe. The Com tribe they have taken up the Naga nomenclature, and this area where he was residing is a Naga belt in West Imphal. That's what my understanding is, and I could be wrong as well. But that is what my understanding is. So now, when I see a person who is an ex-serviceman from the army, from the 8th Regiment, the 8th Assam Rifles, 8th Assam Battalion, if I'm not.
Regiment. Yes. Yes.
Yes, and who joined the DSC after taking retirement from the army. When he is not spared, who is neither a Maite nor a Kuki, as I told you. As per my understanding, Coms have taken up the Naga nomenclature. So it is indeed very, very distressing for me, and especially when a soldier is out on leave. My thoughts and my experience in the Manipur, in fact, as an army brat, when my father was commanding a brigade over there, and later on as a young captain, is that the insurgents, I would not call them terrorists, I would say insurgents. I had the honor for them, I had the respect for them because they had their principles while they fight. They had their war nomenclature very, very clearly defined that no women and children to be attacked, no Jawan who goes on leave is to be abducted or attacked. The ambulance and school buses are not to be touched at all. That is why the liberty of the ambulances, the school bus without protection party was allowed. A Jawan on leave would not be touched. These were certain ground rules which were laid, which were unwritten laws. And now I'm really very, very distressed because last year we saw the assassination of Colonel Biplab Tripathi, commandant of the Assam Rifles, with his family, who was killed by the PLA, the People Liberation Army. It's an underground faction over there. Now we are seeing the abduction of a Jawan who is neither of the warring faction, warring communities, who is there. So it is indeed very disturbing and distressing. And when we see a lot of reporting, I would not like to name, but see, I have seen fake reporting happening over there. Narratives are being built which should not be, rather the narrative should be for peace, for coming together, for getting. So I don't think fake news which has been happening, information warfare has been happening in Manipur from both the sides. It should not happen because.
But can you talk a little bit about this area? Can you talk a little bit now? Now I have the details in front of me. He is abducted from Imphal West. His body is recovered from Imphal East. His home is in Tarung, in the Happy Valley of Imphal West, and the body, one bullet to the head, witnessed this abduction, witnessed by his 10-year-old child. Let's say nothing. Let's not forget the human dimension to the child who has witnessed this. And the body is then found from east of Mongjam under the Sogalmang police station in Imphal East. Can you talk about these areas?
Sure, Barka. So the entire national highway number 2, which runs right from Nagaland into Dimapur, into Manipur, like saying starting right from Dimapur to Metrifema, Ghaspani to Kohima, Sakama, further on to then it comes to Mao Gate. Mao Gate is at the border of Manipur and Nagaland, and it opened up into a place called Jwalamukhi. And if you go further on from Jwalamukhi, there's a place called Maram. So till there, it is a Naga belt. So you have a Naga who's a Mao. So Maos and Tankuls are very prominent. They are Nagas in Manipur. Then there are Maram Nagas as well. And then you go further on, you go to Kangpokpi and then to Senapati And then you go further on to Mantri Pokhri Limakong. Limakong is where everyone knows that there's no secret that I will divulge. That nothing secret that we are going to be talking. Everyone knows that the division is based over there, and so this person, obviously, the DSC is, or as I mentioned earlier, of the ex-servicemen who do guard duties for the army. Basically, it's like a reserve force. So this person, this gentleman, is what I presume. He was again an ex-serviceman from the army. From
You heard our com of the com community saying we are not Nagas, we are not Kukis, we are not Maitis, we are a tiny community, we are our own people, we have our own culture, we have our own identity. I call upon the center, somehow let love prevail, let peace prevail. Your thoughts, sir?
Absolutely, Barkha. It is. They say a stitch in nine in time saves nine. Unfortunately, the Manipur violence has gone a bit too far, and there was always a fear right from the very beginning. In fact, let me tell you, the first interview of any person from Manipur to go on air was of an interview of Major Lamthing Thang Khongsai, a coursemate of mine. In fact, I had the honor of interviewing him. That interview was, in fact, it happened immediately after the violence. I had interviewed Khongsai, and Khongsai said one thing, and he said one thing, and which I totally agree. They were the fear of this violence. If it was not curbed at that point of time, I took this interview over 4 months back. There's a fear of it spilling over, and it can go on to other states as well. I hope that doesn't happen, and that's exactly what I see happening now. This person, this Sipai Com, is not from either warring factions, either warring
Yeah.
community. Sorry. So there's something my heart really bleeds. I heart bleeds for humanity, because as a soldier, when a soldier does his duty, we've seen abduction of soldiers in JNK. Unfortunately, it was very, very sad. Who had been on leave. We saw Lieutenant Omar,
Yeah.
we saw Aurangzeb, we saw a whole lot of people over there in Jammu Kashmir. But now it's spilled over to
Yeah.
Manipur. And similar thing, I had not experienced a soldier going on leave earlier. And even though he
Yeah.
could, it was never personal,
I,
Barkha, it was never personal.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
have had the honor of being in conversation with Colonel Sharma. Colonel Sharma got a Kirti Chakra, got a Shaurya Chakra, got a Sena medal in Manipur itself, and he was serving with 4 Assam rifles. And
Yeah, I want to just come back to this story, Beja Ali, before we close for the moment and try and get some more details and then reconnect with you after that. The fact is, some things we know. This Sepoy was not a member of the Meiteis or the Kukis. He's not even a member of the Nagas, as his own community fellow clan man said. Right now, they're a very tiny community. In fact, Mary Com, one of the country's best known sports women, is from the same community, the Com community, Mary Com. And the Sepoy who has been killed is also from the same community, and they're none of the warring communities. Now, I want to end with the thought that there's a 10-year-old child who's the only witness to this. And the fact that the army has been vilified in the last few weeks. Your quick last word on this as we offer our condolences to the family of Sepoy Serto Thang Thang Kom.
Barkha, it is, as I mentioned earlier. I've told you about the experience when 5 soldiers were caught by the insurgents in the northeast part of India, but they were all spared. They were all nothing went wrong. They came out from that underground camp without a scratch, and I happened to be one of the 5 soldiers. In fact, I know the entire story. So
Yeah.
now I have never seen women, children being attacked in either Manipur or the northeast part of India. I mean, when you kill, brutally abduct someone's father, imagine the psyche of a small little boy. The toughest job, Barka, that I did in the army was not facing bullets or a perceived enemy. The toughest job I did in the army was that I had to call someone's home and inform a little child. Well, I didn't inform children, but of course the wives or the parents,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
your loved one, your son, your father, or your brother is no more in the world. Imagine
Yeah.
what must have been going
It is
through.
it is, as I said, a very, very tragic day, because on the one hand you have what's happening in Kashmir with our soldiers. We've lost lives there, and today, as the Manipur strife enters month 5, we are now in the 5th month of this strife. We have an Indian Army Jawan who served with the Assam Regiment, was re-engaged with the Defence Services Corps, uh, taken from his home, taken from his home. And one of the points that Major Ali you made is that there is a rules of engagement, right? And the rules of engagement used to be that yes, a soldier in an encounter site, it's still not correct, but he's coming with his gun to get you if you're a terrorist and you are fighting him. But a soldier on leave going home, he's not in the context of battle at all. And in any case, what's happening in Manipur today is not an insurgency. The adversary is not external. This is an internal community clash. Major Ali, we will say goodbye to you as well. But I think the point that the general was underlining is this cannot go on. This absolutely cannot go on. An army Jawan, neither of from the Kuki nor the Maiti community, targeted today as his 10-year-old boy was the only witness to that abduction. The body found, his family says, with a single bullet to the head. And this really absolutely cannot go on. We will say thank you to you and we'll keep following relentlessly as we have here at the Mojo Story, the situation in Manipur.